Hey guys, it's been a while since the last time I posted a video in regards to PSW. I know that with my first video, it's in regards to interview tips. So this time around, I figured that, I should talk about a little information on where you can work as a PSW, the different work setting that you can work as a PSW. So the first thing, or the first place where you can work at is in the hospital setting. So with the hospital setting, expect to work for about 8 to 12 hours, depending on what type of shift model that they have in the unit. With the hospital setting, obviously you have to work very closely with the nurse. What happens is that you get to partner into like 1 or 2 or even 3 nurses, depending on the type of unit that you're at. And in regards to this, keep in mind that if you work in the hospital settings, your client might change every shift just because it will be, depending on whether your client will still stay there, or, maybe they might be sent to a different unit, or maybe they might go home. So, just expect that in a hospital setting, your client might be different all the time. The second setting that you can work at is the long-term care home. Long-term care home are basically, 8-hour shift model. You work in one unit, you get to know your client, and it's basically, in a way, it's in a routine where if you do, let's say, a 7 to 3, obviously what you have to do is you do their morning care, you start feeding them, you do some social activities with them, and then you start again with the lunchtime, and just make sure and provide another personal care before the end of your shift. With the long-term care setting, keep in mind that this type of clients are basically clients that need more nursing care assistance. So some long-term care might be heavier, but overall it's a good place to work at. The third place that you can work at is a retirement home. With the retirement home, what happens is that most of the people that stays in the retirement home are somewhat independent or very independent. And what happens is that with the retirement home, based on my experience, in each unit or in each floor, there's about only 2 or 3 PSWs that works in the unit, and you kind of like break on the assignments based on what type of needs that your client will need during those times. Most of the time, they just need, diaper change, or if not, just help with the shower. But retirement home is very independent, and based on what I'm seeing on my experience with that, with the retirement home, correct me if I'm wrong, it's just more of like a helping hand. You're providing a helping hand with them. Sometimes they might ask you to do laundry. Each retirement home unit does have a laundry in place. So some of the people that lives there, they can do it, but they choose to just have PSW to help with their laundries or any light housekeepings. But then again, it really depends on the retirement home and the type of service that PSW offer. Another thing that you can do is that you can work as a travel personal support worker, meaning that you go into the agency. The good thing about this is that they do pay their salary rate is much higher compared to the other work setting. But the downside of it is that, you're going to be far away. So you're going to be maybe working in like a 3-4 hours drive from the city. And it really depends on the type of assignment that you will take. Sometimes they might take you out of province where they will also pay for your accommodation, and sometimes they will offer for meal depending on the need. But some PSW do enjoy the travel PSW assignment, just because, if you work overtime, you obviously tend to get a lot of money and save up, especially with the newcomers. What I notice is that, they try and look for agency and, take on a 2 to 3 assignments and basically earn more money, because like I said, other agency does provide the accommodation, so you don't really have to worry about paying rent at all. But when I say you're doing travel, you're actually way far from the GTA or far from the city. And last but not the least, you can work as a community PSW. This one, what happens if you work in the community, most agency does require for you to drive just because you're going from one client to another. Most of your clients, you'll given an hour to work, meaning that you will help them with personal care, whether it's shower, change of diaper, feeding, creating light meals. So those are the things. The good thing about working in the community is that, you know, you kind of have to give your availability to your worker, and you'll be able to kind of work things around it. Usually what I notice is that some PSW that work in the community, they do like it just because they have that flexibility. Some people obviously just like that, but keep in mind that with the community, your hours are not guaranteed. There are times where there might be some gap in your schedule, but it will also take time for your schedule to be filled. And yeah, that's about it. It's very quick. If you have any questions, let me know. I know that I might be missing a lot of information, but this is just kind of like a quick insight of the different work settings. So that's it for now. If you have any question, feel free to comment down below and I will be gladly to answer any of your questions. Bye.